Welcome as we continue our study of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 6. On account of which things the wrath of God is coming on the sons of disobedience. So, keeping in mind verse 5, we were talking about all those things that which you are to put to death, so fornication, uncleanness, passion, evil lust, and covetousness. And so in verse 6, he's saying these things are the things that cause the wrath of God. So on account is erchomai, and it means to come. Um, so another way to say that might be through which comes the wrath of God. Wrath, this is one of the words that's used for wrath. It's orge, and it's the more popular word for wrath. It is a provoked um, vengeance, I guess you could say. And thumos is the other word. Thumos is more akin to maybe a bitterness, a sort of just general state of being angry and wrathful to everyone all the time. Versus orge is more provoked. It's more specific. What's interesting is it is the word from which we get orgy, which is sort of non-specific, but it's an example of how a word can sort of change to almost an opposite meaning over time. So for this one, it is a more specific provoked anger or wrath, I should say. And then our next word is sons, which is uios, and uios just means son, but uh, in the Hebrew, it has a little more nuance than that because uh, of the way their inheritance worked. And so, really, if you think about a prince and a king, this is a little easier to see. The prince is really an extension of the authority. In a lot of ways, he is he is equal to the authority or has equal authority to the king. It's really only the king could overrule him. He's an extension, so therefore he is a representation of it. And so there's this nuance to the word sons where it really sort of meant equal to, at least in some way, not maybe not completely equal to. For example, we're called the sons of God. Are we equal to God? No, but He gives us His righteousness and His holiness. He makes us righteous, makes us holy, and so He makes us equal in those ways, even though He's the source of it. So here, there's still uh, that sort of symbolic meaning of equal. And so when it calls us the sons of disobedience, it's actually saying that we were equal to the disobedience itself. It was our true nature. Disobedience is a pathos, and that's so if we break that down, we got to go a few layers deep here to get to it. It comes from a and pitho. So pitho is to be convinced or be persuaded of something. And then the A is sort of without, so without persuasion. Now, what's interesting, so if we again look back at Hebrew culture, if they heard something and they believed it to be true, then they would do it. That's what they believed. So therefore, their obedience was supposed to be a sign of their faith. And so if they weren't obedient, it also meant they weren't faithful. So because again, they believed that if they heard something and were faithful in it, or if they believed it, then they would do it. They would be obedient to it. And so when it calls us the sons of disobedience, and again, this is referring to us before salvation, sons of disobedience, is really saying that we were equal to unbelief, equal to just a complete lack of compliance. It was our true nature. And that's why uh, those deeds justify the wrath.